one oh, see, okay. Jay, when some of those weird people, I think he played in, something about Swan Ninja. I think he played in that.
All right. All right. We got some feedback. Hey. Test. All right. Thanks everybody for coming. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. Let's see. Any changes from Brett or John? Nope. All right. Obviously, we're missing Doug and Carrie. They are out of town tonight. Presentations, we don't have any. Public comments, non-agenda items. Persons wishing to address town council on a matter not listed on the agenda may speak at this time. Speakers must provide their name, address, observe a 3-minute time limit, and speak only after recognized by the mayor, which is me. Anyone? Public comment? All right. Moving on. Public announcements. There are openings on the following boards and committees: Budget and Finance, Civil Service, Code Enforcement. We'll see about that one. Heritage Committee and Parks, and Recreation and Beautification Committee. Cram the Car, nearly mid-year school supply drive will be at Nance Park on Thursday, November 25th, from 6:30 to 9:30. And Chief, we are having a movie in the park. Is that right?
We are. We're going to have a Halloween, Christmas themed movie.
All right, Christmas themed movie, since he was not on the microphone. Town Hall will be closed for Thanksgiving, which is November 27th, also taking the extra 28th off. The annual tree lighting ceremony will be held on Friday, December 5th at Nance Park, 7 p.m. Come early to enjoy the festivities at 6 p.m. Councilmember-elect Doug Wright, Councilmember-elect Julie McKnight will be sworn in at the beginning of December 10th Town Council meeting. Julie's watching on YouTube land. Hey, Julie. Consent agenda. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
All those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye. Aye. 3-0. All right, ordinances and public hearings. Ordinance 2026-01, first reading public hearing relating to fire inspection fees. An ordinance of the town of Indialantic, Brevard County, Florida, relating to fire inspection fees, providing a new section 16-96 to the town code of ordinances, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. Mike, this is your topic, right? Or whose topic is this? The fire code, fire fees?
The fire chief, he's not in town, but yeah. Right now, what's happening on that is we don't have any fees. We're the only municipality that doesn't charge any fees for inspections. We have once a year. We're just trying to cover our costs.
We talked about this a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I do remember that now. Comment? John, Brett? Discussion?
I remember the conversation a couple years ago, but what's the fee going to be now?
Right now, there isn't a fee.
Right, so we're going to institute a fee.
Yeah.
We're institute a fee.
And basically covers staff time and,
Staff time and things.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're required to have it for new businesses and BTRs issue their annual inspections and stuff. And the problem is, it's not that one time we go out, there's also re-inspection fees. Because some people we don't charge anything. They just 3, 4, 5 times.
microphone's off.
So, yeah, sorry about that. They don't charge anything, so when we get the re-inspections, there's 3 or 4 or 5 times.
Are they in line, I mean, the fees that are they in line with the local?
Yeah, we've compared other municipalities.
And the ordinance provides that you do it by resolution, so it can be changed.
Gotcha, thank you.
Cool.
What was the amount that we were thinking again, Mike? Like, I don't mean to put you on the spot, so if you don't.
Yeah, do you know what it is, Molly, offhand?
Remember, wasn't it something like 75
Yeah.
bucks or
Well,
something?
see it in the resolution next month, I believe it's 30 or 50.
Oh yeah, that's reasonable.
It
Yeah.
is, and then it builds up, like there's a penalty for each one.
Mhm.
So I can actually have it printed out and give it to you
Mhm.
guys.
I think the city of Melbourne is like just their reinspection each year is like at least $55. So
Yeah.
These are most in line with Satellite Beach.
Okay.
It's set up, it's one solid fee, and then there's the first reinspection, I think is free, or there's no penalty for it, and then there's a penalty for the subsequent ones.
Is there public comment? All right. So we're voting on this, right?
yeah, I guess I move to approve ordinance 2026-01 on first reading as drafted.
I'll second it.
All those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-01 as drafted, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. Ordinance 2026-03, first reading, public hearing relating to swimming pools. An ordinance of the town of Indialantic, Brevard County, Florida, amending section 113-238 of the Indialantic zoning code relating to swimming pools, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. Cliff, this is your,
Yes. Yes, sir, it's for the fence height.
It's not.
It's for the fence height to go from 6 feet requirement to 4 feet to follow the state statutes as well as the Florida building code, so it'll be in line with those.
okay. And so moving from 6 to 4 is just easier for staff and to keep it Brevard County or state building code or whatever.
Correct.
I guess, Matt, I have no problem with it, but Matt, if Florida building code changes, does ours automatically change?
It wouldn't automatically.
Oh, okay.
change out, but we redo the ordinance.
All right, I was just wondering. Brett, John, any comment?
Nope.
All right, public comment. All right, cool. Is there a motion to approve or otherwise?
I move to approve ordinance 2026-03 on first reading as drafted.
I'll second it.
All those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-03 as drafted, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Ordinance 2026, what happened to 2026-02? Is there an 02 anywhere?
Did it get pulled?
It's on its way. We had to do some clarifications. It's referenced Joe's ribbon curbing.
Okay.
And we had to do some tweaks.
Gotcha.
It'll be on in December.
Cool. Ordinance 2026-04, first reading, public hearing relating to possession of open container in vicinity of beach. An ordinance of the town of Indialantic, Brevard County, Florida, relating to consumption of or possession of an open container of an alcoholic beverage, amending section 4-6 subsection E of the Indialantic Code of Ordinances, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. Right, John?
I'm glad I'm moving. No, I'm joking.
Right. Yeah, this cut down on your Friday nights.
No, just teasing. So, Chief Connor, do you want to kind of give us a little rundown overview on this one?
Yes, sir, thank you. So we currently have an ordinance that prohibits drinking, consuming, or possessing an open container of alcohol on our beaches or in public places. And according to the ordinance, violators shall, quote, be guilty of a municipal ordinance. However, no person shall be cited or arrested for a violation of this section without first being given a verbal warning and a reasonable opportunity to comply with said warning by a police officer or other sworn law enforcement officer duly requested to assist. So I'm appealing to council to modify the ordinance, and the reason for this proposal, it'll modernize the town's enforcement process for possession and consumption of alcoholic beverages on the beach and in public places. Currently, officers are required to issue a verbal warning prior to taking enforcement action, and there's actually no system in place to issue a citation following that warning. The only existing option is to arrest the offender for a violation of the town ordinance, which results in unnecessary strain on town resources, including the cost of prosecution and in some cases, public defense. The updated ordinances would establish a civil citation system that allows officers to issue a citation immediately at their discretion without first providing a verbal warning. This revision improves enforcement consistency, reduces administrative burden, and aligns the town's process with other Florida municipalities that handle similar ordinances violations under Florida Statute 162.21, which is the enforcement of county and municipal codes and ordinances. The proposed change would enhance public safety, promote compliance, and provide a fair and efficient alternative to custodial arrest. Creates a practical enforcement mechanism. It promotes fairness and consistency, and it also empowers officer discretion, so that way they're not being tied up having to arrest somebody. And a lot of the violations are not local residents. They are visitors who we go down, we warn, and then we may or may not contact again. And this gives us some authority to actually get some revenue on that. I reached out to our sister agencies here on the beach side. Cocoa Beach has beach rangers who can warn and issue citations. Indian Harbor Beach, they can issue a citation right away, but they prefer to trespass somebody from the beach, which actually hurts them more if they come back. Satellite Beach is no alcohol on the beach or public places. They have set forth fines also. They cap theirs at $250 for Indian Harbor Beach and Satellite Beach. And Brett, Melbourne Beach allows alcohol on the beach. Thank you.
So basically, in essence, the current system, you can warn them, but then you can't do anything about it afterwards.
Unless we come across them again. If I warn you and then I leave and I come back 20 minutes later and you're still in possession, then I arrest you, the town has to pay for prosecution.
Right, go to jail and all
all that. And then we have to transport them to jail because the jail van's not going to come down and pick up for a violation of a municipal ordinance.
Right.
And with these citations also, if they refuse to sign the citation, it becomes a second-degree misdemeanor. So then they could actually write their own ticket to jail as a matter of.
Right, and the new one gives you the discretion not to even offer a warning. You just.
Correct. Just as anything else that we do, we can have discretion. Okay, we're going to give you a warning this time, let you off, but just so you know, there's a $100 fine or $200 fine or whatever the fine is that you set.
And Mr. Mayor, this will allow us to handle it similar how we do the littering citations and stuff. And I'll be honest with you, in my 36 years, I can say less than a half dozen times have we ever really taken any type of enforcement action where we had to arrest somebody. And the ordinance is over 50 years old, so it's kind of outdated and things. And with the way the courts changed many years ago, it is quite expensive.
And I left a copy of our litter citation for you, just as a reference. We could do something similar for the alcohol citations. It's 2 pages with all the requisite information on the front and instructions to the offender on the back. And they come in booklets about like this. Be pretty easy to do.
Matt, did you have anything to add?
No, just that this is very common with respect to surrounding communities too, this type of citation system.
Okay. Brett, John?
You kind of already touched on it as far as officer discretion, which I've always had, full faith in the discretion of the Indialantic Police Department's reasonable judgment. To be determined with Melbourne Beach, we'll find out. But I would imagine that this is really directed towards break,
We have an
Memorial
issue
Day.
in Nance Park, and we have an issue on the beach. That's
A consistent issue?
Yes.
Like homeless people being...
not just homeless people, but you talk about spring break and summer vacations and things like that, and tourists coming into town. It's
Yep.
we deal with it quite a bit. You've got ABC right across the street, and I've seen
Very good
18 packs on the shoulder heading down to the beach.
Yep.
And that was just your mom.
Well, that was my friends and me, but I wasn't going to say that. So,
But you have discretion. All right, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's not really a concern generally or an issue at, areas like Tampa or Sunrise, where kind of more of the local residents go. Just because, I mean, we're going to be honest, we all know that, everyone in the neighborhood, if it's a nice Saturday, they're out at the beach, they have, some sort of cup. Most likely there's an
it's
alcoholic
going to
beverage
happen.
in
But
there.
I mean,
so-
we've got a beautiful park up there with Mikey Goodwin Playground and a bunch of little kids and stuff. We don't want, people up there stammering and.
No, absolutely.
It increases, public safety and. things like
Absolutely.
that.
I kind of want to make it clear to the residents that this is targeted towards that area, that
Well,
it's not necessarily.
with
the
respect, this
residents.
has always been a rule. It's always been a violation of town ordinance to be in possession of an alcoholic beverage on the beach or in an open place anyway. This just gives us the opportunity to cite somebody and gives us a little bit more of a
But
bite.
it's not like your intent to go out there and just start issuing a bunch of citations unreasonably.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at.
John?
Love it.
And while we're still talking about it, item number 4, which is possession of open container consumption in public places, this is all related, right?
Yes.
It's the same penalty, yeah. It was amended to have the same penalty, both the one that's in the vicinity of the beach and then just open containers in public
Anywhere else in
places,
town?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the second one was changed as well to use this same citation language.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Imagine if you're smoking and drinking at the beach. Whew, you're in trouble these days.
As long as it's
Bam,
not,
to
as
jail you're
long as it's
going.
not a pipe
And
or
you litter.
a cigar, you're okay.
Hey, that was the only thing, though. Just a cigar, right?
Right.
Is allowed. But if it's like a cigarette,
Right.
trouble.
They throw their cigarette butt down.
Then, I like your style.
There we go, now we're talking.
Yeah.
I'm for the littering one.
And so everybody knows, you cannot outlaw cigar smoking. You can outlaw cigarette and pipe, but you cannot outlaw cigar smoking.
I would love to know the definition of cigar.
Huge
It must
lobby.
be clearly defined.
Our lobby.
It must be clearly defined.
Yeah. So is there a motion? John?
Go ahead, Brett.
It pains me. Pains me. I'll do this one for Chief Connor. I move to approve ordinance 2026-04 on first reading as drafted.
Is there a second?
I second.
Public comment? All right, Diogo.
Diogo Drados, 420 11th Ave. I guess right now the law says if you must be told first, and then if you keep doing it, you're crazy because you'll go to jail, right? I guess what is nice about the existing law is that you shouldn't be surprised, right? You shouldn't have stumbled over from Melbourne Beach with your cup and then be like, oh man, I didn't know. So I guess as part of discretion that the officers have, I guess it should be a culture that people are not surprised to find that they are getting ticketed. That's my only thought on this. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
I don't think they would be surprised, judging by past performance. Anybody else?
I mean, I imagine you all would probably still do the warning unless somebody's just absolutely egregious, right? I mean,
That's
case by
hypothetical.
case.
That's
Right,
case by
right.
case. Yeah, that's hypothetical. I mean, it's like anything else. You get stopped for speeding, the officer may or may not write a citation, and I can't force somebody to write a citation or avoid a citation. It's totally up to, a lot of times, and I've said it before, people write their own tickets. So, and the officers understand that. We're a bedroom community, and we're a gem on the coast that a lot of people don't know about, but we are right at the end of 192, and people do show up, and we do get unruly characters, and we use good judgment. I mean, I have faith in my officers.
And that is the language in it that the officer may issue.
right.
Permissive.
Public comment anymore? All right, all those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-04 as, we did have a motion, right?
Motion seconded.
Okay, yeah, so all those in favor of approving 2026-04, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? All right, 3-0. Ordinance 2026-05, first reading, public hearing relating to possession of open container consumption in public places, as opposed to the beach, what we just talked about. An ordinance of the town of Indialantic, Brevard County, Florida, relating to consumption or possession of an open container of an alcoholic beverage, amending Section 4-8 of the Indialantic Code of Ordinances, providing for implementation, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. Same deal we just talked about, right, Chief? Just
Yes, sir.
Everything
Now,
but the beach.
now we'll consider, let's say, Dijon's place and somebody's out there. So there is something on the ordinance where you can't consume within 100 feet of a place that serves alcoholic beverages. So if they're right on the curtilage there, not too worried about that. But I mean, this actually mirrors Brevard County's ordinance on open container. So it's basically the same thing.
And it's the same citation penalty language as the
Okay.
previous ordinance.
Brett, anything?
That's more common sense.
Sounds good.
Is there a motion?
Move to approve ordinance 2026-05 on first reading as drafted.
I'll second that.
Public comment? All right. All those in favor of approving ordinance 2026-05, first reading, public hearing, relating to possession of open container consumption in public places, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? All right. Unanimous. No unfinished business. Moving right along. New business. Item number 1. Discuss having a magistrate for code enforcement prosecution. So, for anybody who does not know how code enforcement works, there has to be some suspected violation. Code enforcement gathers data, submits it to the code enforcement prosecuting attorney, and then a hearing is held before the code enforcement board. That is similar to the criminal side of things, and Chief Connor or Matt could correct it, but basically a crime is committed, allegedly. Police investigate, provide that information to the district attorney, then you go to a jury or judge. So that's the parallel between code enforcement and the criminal side of the world, more or less, right?
Yeah, if there's a suspected code violation, the code officer would issue a notice of violation, and then there would be a hearing set on it. It would go before the code enforcement board. The code enforcement board would determine whether or not there was a code violation. If the code enforcement board determined there was a code violation, they'd give the property owner a certain amount of time, 15 days, 30 days, whatever the case may be, to bring the property into compliance. And then if they don't bring it into compliance by a certain date, they'll come back for a second hearing, and they'll impose the fine. And the fine will run on a daily basis, $100 a day, $200 a day, whatever the code enforcement board determines is appropriate, each day until the property is brought into compliance.
Right. And so the purpose of the code enforcement board is to act as the judge, basically, in code enforcement hearings. So they the discussion is replacing this code enforcement board with a magistrate who is an attorney, not Matt specifically, but somebody like himself who does not represent the town, and that person would be the judge. So now that everybody knows what's happening there, comment?
So you said get rid of the code enforcement board?
Yes.
You just replace it with a magistrate. Yep.
Yeah. So as the packet says, you know, it removes the whole neighbor-on-neighbor thing. Nobody wants to punish their own neighbor. There's just theoretically less emotion in it, fact-based. The magistrate would be more knowledgeable on interpreting laws and codes and all that crap. So
It's much more common, too, to have a magistrate as opposed to a full code enforcement board. And the magistrate, he said it wouldn't be me, it would be someone who would be much better looking, so,
Clearly.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm fully for this. Both John and I were actually on code enforcement prior to being on council. And, you know, thankfully John has a background in law enforcement, so he understood, you know, kind of the process better. But I did find that oftentimes people didn't quite understand our role and our, you know, the quasi-judicial capacity, all that type of stuff. Things would get confusing, so there would always be a lot of kind of updating, explaining. So this would just be a more efficient process. And yeah, pretty much all the reasons that you stated, less personal. And there's not a concern. I think sometimes people are worried that this would be an additional cost. But it's not. It's actually net zero. It's the same amount, because as opposed to having a prosecuting attorney that we pay separately, that's just now the magistrate, and our town attorney is the prosecuting attorney, so it's all the same.
we wouldn't have the prosecuting attorney?
Wouldn't you be it?
You wouldn't need to, yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
I mean, that's what I do for several cities. Deerfield Beach, for example, yeah, I'm the prosecuting attorney for them, go before the magistrate. And
Okay. I thought you did the, anyway, okay.
To explain how it works now when you have the code enforcement board that's this quasi-judicial body, the town attorney represents and advises the board.
Right.
So then we have to hire an outside attorney who's the prosecuting attorney. So I think sometimes people had maybe a misconception that we would still be hiring an outside attorney and then also hiring the special magistrate, but we're not. We're kind of just shuffling the pieces on the board.
Is there a motion? Or do we need a motion? What do we,
Well, yeah, I think we just need a consent
consensus?
to approve to go forward with this, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys have to draft one, an ordinance?
John, you good?
I'm good, yeah, that sounds great.
Public comment? All right. Knock yourself out.
all right.
Item number 2, discuss creating an ordinance to regulate formula businesses. So how many times have we heard or read about surf style? Oh, surf style, whatever, you know. And 30 years ago, if there were regulations that regulated formula businesses, maybe not have surf style. So a formula business is like a big box store, chain restaurant, you know, things like that. And so in the past, other cities, they have regulated formula businesses to maintain the small town feel, the quaint thing, the quaint feeling of the town. So I just wanted to bring this up. We talked about this briefly back in April at the workshop we had. See what we wanted to do if we want to regulate formula businesses, at least look into it, right? I know there have been restrictions coming down from Tallahassee that limit what towns can do, so we may run into that, but
So, I'm sorry, so just so I understand, this would be, form of business would be like the Publix we have, Starbucks, 7-Eleven.
yeah, I mean, I don't honestly know specifically, like, what would or wouldn't be allowed.
Right.
But it would be aimed at bigger, I guess, chains.
Okay.
What it is. So, Brett, you have some information, right?
I didn't brush up on this since we last looked at it, and we got to give a shout out to Greg. Hopefully, maybe he's watching, listening, because he was the real
Right.
driving force behind this a couple years ago. I mean, there's a lot of, navigating the constitutional beacons on this one. I mean, you really have to thread the needle. I mean, that's kind of always the way, constitutional issues are always popping up, but particularly with this one. So it's a difficult one. It can be done. I think it's more about not necessarily, prohibiting or preventing certain big box, but more like the number, to where it's like you can't have 2 surf styles within 100 yards of each other, things of that nature. To my understanding or feel from the town, I think there's kind of a general consensus that the residents would support something of this nature. So it's probably worthwhile to look into it. But again, it's not necessarily an easy task to accomplish legally and appropriately. So we might have to spend some attorney's fees. So sorry.
Yep. I was just looking up formula business definition, if I could clear it up, but this lawinsider.com, which who knows what that means?
Exactly.
Type of retail sales establishment, restaurant, tavern, bar, or takeout food establishment which is under common control or is a franchise and is one of 10 or more businesses or establishments worldwide, maintaining 2 or more of the following features, which we won't bother with for now. But anyway, so that kind of clarifies it. Sort of. You guys want to move forward? I guess would it go to the planner and then Matt, or?
I think Matt would have first.
Yeah.
You need to figure out the constitutional framework.
and it's still kind of amorphous, what it is you're looking for.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that, when we say regulate, what are
Yeah.
we specifically or broadly looking at when we say regulate?
That's a tough answer.
My
The
feel,
storefront, or, you know,
from the residents, my feel is, or understanding is just kind of preventing the situation where, again, you have two, not only have the same kind of general category of business, but like the same actual brand within like 100 yards of each other, you know. That's the sense that I have from
Right.
the residents.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know that it's completely prohibiting that type of what people may call like a commercial hooky business. I don't necessarily know if it's that.
Right. Yeah, because property rights are very strong in
Exactly.
Florida.
That's the thing, is you can't.
Right.
You can't just straight up, well, and business rights. I mean, you can't just.
All right.
Prevent somebody from, you know, engaging in the lawful act of their commerce, but. I think it's worthwhile to have Mac, you know, kind of figure out what the confines are of, you know, trying to put some sort of constriction or regulation. I mean, we previously had that with, and maybe still, I think we still do with like the fast food with the drive-through, right? That you can only have, we made it to where, it was written to where essentially it was only that Wendy's that was going to be able to do it because.
'Cause there's a
whatever the
distance,
radius was,
right.
It didn't fit within the town.
Long Dog is technically a drive-through too.
Okay,
It is, the Africa, the footage is.
right. So,
So maybe start out by looking at sort of the proximity issue?
yeah, like a time, manner, place type, right? I mean, those are things we can regulate. And then I guess as part of that, maybe just, you know, also, you know, some sort of treatise or flogger of like what the scope is of a franchise business that can be
Yep.
regulated.
Okay.
We did look in, I mean, I could honestly go back and look at some of my files. I have some of the stuff. I just didn't brush up on it before.
Yeah. Yeah, and the intent isn't to discriminate against any particular business, store, whatever. It's to keep the small town feel.
Yep.
Yeah. Any public comment? I guess so. Sherry? Not Sherry, sorry, Kitty.
Oh, Kitty, 411 Third Ave. I don't know if I have to say anything. But I'm just wondering about height restrictions now that we're talking about that. Are there?
That's a separate thing.
Okay.
And
But does anybody know the height restrictions buildings?
it depends on the zoning
Area.
district.
Oh, okay.
So, like Fifth Avenue is 35 feet and 3 stories. And
Okay.
that, which is the T-zone, the tourist zone. And then
It's higher.
residential is different.
Yeah.
That's the max, it's 35 feet for any of them, right?
The max and, yeah, the T zone and the commercial zone. And then you get into the other zones, it's 30 feet and 2 stories.
Oh, so
Like when you're
surf
like-
style's only 30 some,
That's 35 feet.
oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, it's in a
Looks
T
like
zone.
80.
It's actually, that's in a
Sorry.
commercial zone up there.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
The commercial zone runs across there to Wendy's.
yeah,
Or
okay,
to the old Wendy's, to now the boardwalk.
okay. All right, that's it.
And the surf style was, you know, there was nothing allowed or disallowed. It met all the existing ordinances and stuff like that, so.
I fell in May in my driveway, on my back. Okay. Carol Andren, 906 South Ramona Avenue. The question to me that represents why you're talking about this is, why are you talking about this? Was there something of particular concern? This has been discussed, exactly what you're saying has been discussed. We've been here since 78, and probably prior to 78 even. But it's been, it's in the same way, it's been discussed. And sometimes it's been because of a threat of another business coming in, and business people have come in and complained. So may I ask what stirred the interest and concern now?
I think a lot of it is just over the last few years, we've heard a lot of noise about the looks of Fifth Avenue and keeping the small town surf. And like I said, I cannot tell you how many times somebody's complained about surf style to me. I mean, I could retire, you know. And and like I said, if we did this 30 years ago, or if previous council did it 30 years ago, we maybe could have done something to quell that.
The small town feel has always been the theme that has followed discussions, whatever you're talking about, the code, the town, the appearance, the comprehensive plan, everything. So I just wonder if there's some particular threat right now. It seems to me it's a good idea to review it. You may be able to strengthen it
Yeah.
for the future. If things have changed in land use planning too.
Right.
But I was concerned maybe there was somebody who could come in. We faced, threats from people who had money who could sue us if they can't build here. I think Mike has experienced a few of those in his, his time with the town.
Yeah,
But
no,
this is not a new discussion, it's periodic, so.
Right.
Go at it, okay.
All right,
Yeah, there's
thank you.
no imminent threat. I think the recent catalyst is that the past year I did like a code review audit and just created a whole list of things that we might want to address or change, and this was on the list, and so.
Well, it's a good idea
he's just
to do
bringing it
that
up.
every once in a while, too.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
thank you.
Anyone else? All right. You got your marching orders, Matt? All right, review ordinance 113249, outdoor cafes, and discuss removing the code of ordinances. This was also came from the meeting we had in April, talking about updating code. Brett, do you remember, I know I talked with Cliff about this. You remember what specifically this was?
Well, we know that there was the, issue about people interpreting the BE situation and whether or not that's, an allowed use. I think the general consensus is people like it, and then I think they also realize, wait, maybe this is kind of out of date, arcane, prohibiting these outdoor cafes, particularly like on Fifth Ave, in that one little commercial center area. It's like there could be the opportunity for a developer to come in and, redo that area, and maybe people would want, to have some outdoor seating, and that would, help create like a nice ambiance. So that's kind of what the thought behind it was, is that, is there a need to actually have, or to have it prohibited or restricted in the manner in which it is?
John, did you have a comment before Cliff?
Yeah, it's been a while. I remember reading this a few months ago, but it didn't seem to prohibit them. It just set pretty strict parameters for what.
Right. Yeah. And after talking with Cliff, basically, we're looking at removing the seating parameters. We're not looking at removing the whole section.
Correct.
So you want to add anything?
It's mostly just the seating. It's the seating really shouldn't matter if it's inside or out. I mean, people would rather be outside most of the time today than inside.
I think like the fence portion about it, we've talked about, it's kind of outdated, where, they're required to have a fence around it and things. Technically, if you look down, I know they do the sidewalk dining at Scott's. They don't have fence around there, So it kind of, that portion of it too. And after COVID, of course, outdoor seating became more popular than it was before. It's changed from when the original ordinance was written back in the 80s.
The 80s. All right. So this is another thing for you, right, Matt?
Take a look at it. I mean, is it just removing the fence issue and the seating parameters? Is there anything else to?
Brett, did you have any?
Is it
I'm re-reviewing it right now to see.
While you're doing that, I just have a question. So is it to get rid of the whole ordinance or just clean it up? Because it would seem to me that if we have some parameters in place now, just clean up what we currently have rather than killing it and then having to revisit this in a couple of years if, these outdoor cafes pop up. So.
Right, yeah. I think it's removing the seating restriction, whatever it is. Honestly, I have not looked at it to.
The seating and the fences and it's kind of just taking a fillet knife to it, like you said, and
It's a
just
full
clean it up.
rework, because some of the stuff in here is just really
It's
weird.
bad.
Yeah, it's a full redo.
I guess the question is, do we want to keep the code and clean it up, or do we want to get rid of it?
I think we want to keep it and just clean it.
I think it's more than a clean, I think it's a complete rewrite, frankly. You can still regulate it.
Okay.
But I think it's a rewrite because, I mean, some of these things in here, like stating hours and such for it. I mean, if you're gonna have an outdoor cafe, it should be permissible with the normal business hours, should it not? If it's in the commercial zone, I mean, what does it matter? I mean, you still have the noise ordinance that can be used to enforce.
Here it talks about no noise, So you decide that.
Right, well, as we know, no noise is
Well,
not
it talked about no
real.
music or anything like that.
Yeah.
For example, this doesn't address the T-zone, which we have like the Blue Beach up there. So we can't apply this current one here. It's only in the commercial zones.
Right, that's what I'm saying, I think it's a full, the whole thing needs to be reanalyzed and addressed for all these, current issues and potential future, development possibilities.
Sounds like you just signed up to do something.
Yeah.
In the next 30 days.
I say, yeah,
Yeah.
30, I mean,
Yeah.
if Matt needs outside help, you guys are more than welcome to hire me.
Can I suggest this maybe?
He's like, no, I'm good.
Instruct Matt to work on it with staff, like me and Cliff. mainly
Yeah, I mean,
Cliff
I'm
and-
happy with,
Yeah.
do whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah.
Just whatever the direction is, yeah.
Yeah, I think clean it up, modernize it.
Okay.
Eliminate some sore points or whatever.
So I'll work
I'll show up for public comment.
Yeah.
All right.
Public comment? No? All right. Discuss changing the terms of office for the town council from 2 to 4 years. This is brought up by town staff to reduce workload and money, basically, right? It roughly costs $10,000 or $11,000 per election.
Well, on general election years, it usually costs less than $1,000, like $600 to $800. On non-election years, like this year, the election cost us, I believe it was like 11,000 and some change
For 2 choices.
for 2 choices, yes. So,
Can you, just for my own knowledge, can you have as many things as you want for that 11,000, or is it 11,000 per?
that's a dependent statement, because like you can have a referendum or something on there, and as long as you stay within the ballot length that the supervisor election has created, you're fine. But if you add something in there that requires an additional page to be done, you could actually impose a higher fee.
Okay. Did you guys have anything to add, Mike or Molly?
I just think, yeah, the cost and everything of that, other cities are very similar. They've changed their election, to going to those terms where they're voting basically on the even years
Right.
and stuff.
And this would go to referendum. This is not being decided by anybody here, correct?
Correct.
This is referendum.
Yeah, it'd be a charter amendment, so it'd have to go to the elections.
One of the things that need to be considered, if you guys do want to move forward on this, is how you want to take and offset the odd number terms now. Like, we can't take away from someone's term, so we would have to,
Like
as I
extend it.
understand, add a year to it to be able to stagger it. I'm not exactly sure what the best course of action would be on that.
Yeah, it sounds like a legal question.
Just going forward, your next election, those people are in for 4 years. People that still have 2-year terms finish out, they finish. out.
Right,
Oh, yeah, but people that have a 2-year term right now would finish in 2027.
Right.
So you would have to bump them forward, and they would actually have a 3-year term.
Oh, you're trying to have all of them, you're not gonna stagger them at all? You're gonna
No,
try to
we're
have-
going to stagger we'll have an election every 2 years.
Right.
But the terms will be 4 years.
Right.
So Julie and
No, I know.
Doug.
You're gonna
were
have a
just
cost savings of 2 years. As opposed to having an election every year, this will result in there being 2-year gaps.
Right, but
It'll be
Julie,
every other year.
but Julie and Doug will get an extra year off the election that we just had last week. Because they were elected in 2025.
Right.
Their next election would be 2027.
Right.
But if we move forward, it would be 2028, so they get an extra year,
Why would it be 2028?
because it's only on even years.
See, that doesn't make sense to me. It should still be the odd and even years. It's just then there's these 2-year gaps.
The idea when I present this was to have our elections on the same year as the even numbers, which are when the general, like gubernatorial elections and the presidential elections are,
Yep.
because it reduces the costs. It's
Right.
the odd year elections that are the out of sort elections. If you looked at the ballot this year,
I thought it was just the every year elections that's the cost.
no,
No.
on odd number years, the election cost is, what is that?
Yep.
12 times the cost of even number years. So I was proposing this to where we had 4-year terms, that the election years are only on even number years where it's more cost effective. And it also gives our council members a time to get in and learn the process and get experience behind them before we go up for another election.
2 years is a short term, I think.
There's a lot to learn.
Glad you agree, Joe. John, you got anything?
I think it's a good idea. I mean, the thing is just figuring out how we do the staggering to get this thing going, but yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I think it should be addressed simultaneously with term limits. I think that's something, I understand some people's concern that, we don't have enough people running. Hence why there's always these uncontested elections. But, I mean, if you're gonna go to 4-year terms for a town seat, I mean, Melbourne Beach is what, 3-year? What are the other municipalities?
Yeah, Melbourne Beach is 3 years or something weird.
Which is not gonna help on the cost savings. I understand what your overall point is. I'm just saying, thinking about it from my end, I've only been on 2 years, and first year I was productive, and then the second year, life circumstances got really crazy to where I'm like thankful that I mean, I don't want, but you know what I mean? I've had to like naturally like come off of it. So the 2 year was like helpful in that sense. Not saying that's how it's always gonna be for people, but then you would have to be holding a special election. And so you'd be incurring the cost right there.
You're an exception to the rule, though, because you came to us with parliamentary experience, having been an attorney. Most people that come to us are lay people that it takes a year to get in and figure out Robert's rules, figure out all the nuances of everything. So you're kind of the reverse of our
You
typical
saying I'm
count.
special? I
You
appreciate
know-
that. I'm joking.
It only took me 2 years to realize
You're-
it.
Thank you. You're always looking out and trying to find ways to save us money, so I do appreciate that. But I guess, I mean, it makes sense to move forward to consider it. It's up for a town vote anyways, so I would, think about adding a term limit in there of, say, 12 years, right? So that would be 3 go-arounds. That seems reasonable.
Would that be one or two that would be 2 separate referendums?
But it would all be on the same, I mean, the
No,
cost-wise
no, I
would
was
be.
just like
yeah,
in
yeah.
my head
Yeah.
figuring. Okay.
And I do think if you move forward, because we would put on the referendum for next year, it really wouldn't affect anything until next year's election wouldn't be affected at all. It'd be the 2027 election. So you would have to, however we figured out, stagger, like, because it's not going to be, that 2027 election would be like, okay, we're going to do for 3 years or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Because there's nothing, it's not going to go in a ballot before then. So
Yeah, so
2026.
There's no way to avoid the 3 years. Like, there's gonna be people that have to serve.
You're gonna have to figure out, what,
Which no
and I think part of the referendum is as we figure out, because you laid out in the referendum, okay, we don't have, this seat, because we have seat numbers, we're not like Melbourne Beach at large, so we can say, this seat is election on these years and stuff like that.
So even the 2026, next year's election will still be a 2-year term.
Yes.
And so then 2027.
But that would work, because then people would have noticed that the 2027 people are running for a 3-year seat. And then the 28 is 4, and it's 4 going
Yeah.
forward. So that actually makes practical sense. What do people think about doing a term limit of 3 terms? It's 4 years.
I think that should be universal.
So you would be for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Do you think that's a reasonable?
Yeah,
number for our
yeah.
town?
I mean, if I wouldn't go lower than that.
Right. I was gonna say, because if there's only 8, it's just one re-election. That's not.
Right.
Yeah.
The other topic in the packet brought up by a resident was eliminating the mayor designation, I guess, and the mayor would be elected. So,
Indian Harbor.
correct.
Yes.
Right. So everybody's a town council member, and then the council elects the mayor.
Yeah.
Which is good if you
I like the idea that we get to vote for a president.
Right. If you have a bad mayor, it's good because you can get rid of them, you know.
I think the idea too is if somebody comes in and runs for mayor, like Mayor McDermott was experienced a little bit with the Parks Committee and stuff. They just come in, they've never been on the council, they just run for mayor and they win. They don't have that experience and stuff. And I know it took them a while, you know, the lead into meetings and things and stuff like that. So it helps. That's the only reason in Harbor Beach I do like that method.
But the concern, in my opinion, is, and I know Mark can attest to this, the responsibilities of mayor are like, in my opinion, like 5 times more than just a normal council member. You're really good about the next door and updating
Yeah.
everybody
Right,
and doing all that. You do a great job with that. So if you, just playing devil's advocate, if you have a bunch of people running for council, right, and they're like, okay, and then every single one of them's like, I'm not ready to step up to that level of commitment, but one of them has to, then, you know, you kind of have a lacking. Whereas if you're running for mayor, doesn't mean that, you know what I mean, the person is going to be, you know what I mean, as on top of it as Mark is, but at least they know what they're getting into, or they should. Not saying it's
Right.
the right way to go.
I'd like to hear what Julie, she can text me, and Doug, just kidding. They can talk about it next time. I mean, obviously we have a year to think about this, right?
Well, you'll have to, yeah, not a year, but you have to write an ordinance up for the referendum. What would you say, Matt, when the latest we could have this done to get it to the supervisor elections?
I would say we'd want it the supervisors of elections by May at the latest because of, they have to get the ballots ready.
So you've got a little bit of time, yeah.
Right, right.
Is Indian Harbor the only one that does that?
I thought there was one other city that did it, but I forget.
Is it Malabar?
West Melbourne?
No, not West Melbourne. They've elected, might be Malabar or something like. I thought there was one other. I'm not 100% sure, but I was pretty sure.
I think there is. I don't remember what it was. The council elects the mayor. So, public comment? No one? You guys, oh. Step right up.
I couldn't resist saying this, Carol Andrew, having been here 47 years and been through a lot of things like you're talking about. There have been many times when we have not regretted changing to 4-year terms over the years. Just keep it in mind. I think it sounded like a good idea from all the objective points you've made, but I just wanted to point out there have been a few times we've been glad we had 2-year terms.
While we're waiting on Vinny to get up here. If I remember correctly, we did have a referendum several years ago about 3-year terms, and that got voted down. So,
3 is odd.
Yeah, that wouldn't do any cost savings.
no, it wasn't for, yeah, we just, yeah.
Hey, Vinny Toronto, 313 10 Terrace. So I think the mayor, I think a person should, I think that should be an elected position. I think there are some also emergency duties, especially when COVID hit, right? And I just think that position should be one that is elected for. On the term limits, I know there's a lot of people that are for the 4. I'm not. I like having 2. I think it allows you to go ahead and prove yourself. And you know what? Maybe I'm a glass half full type of guy, but if you're running for council, I think you can go on YouTube and look up Robert's rules, or you can watch the meetings and you can learn and you can put in the initiative to do that. And I really think that would differentiate a person rather than saying, oh, I got 4 years to learn. It's cool. I really like the fact that our small town has small terms. It's 2 years. And I know it's $11,000, but what do we have, 1,800 homes, right, residences? So that's $10 a home to be able to elect a new person or the same person every 2 years. I hear it, and I know there's cost with having the ordinance draft up, and then the population is going to have to vote for it. So there's lots of steps and lots of math. And term limits, you know, that's cool, whatever. But I just love our 2-year limits. I don't like it if we have to have a special election or we end up with an appointment from the governor or from somebody else. Nothing against the governor. I really do like. I got a minute and a half to say I really do like it. Did I say I really did like the 2-year limits? I really do like it. But that's just my personal opinion. I know there is a cost, but again, $10 per household to be able to have a 2-year election on a person who's controlling your life, to me, is worth it.
Thank you, Vinny. Anyone else?
Diogo Drados, 420 11th Ave. It'd be $10 a person, but it's actually $5 a person, right? Because of the odd year, so it's actually even cheaper than that. I think that there's like an infusion of like civic energy here that comes from elections, and I think that that's a low price for that as well. I feel like people care a little more, and there's like a little bit more energy here. And then back to costs, we only had this one choice on the ballot a couple weeks ago. But you're saying that it's just the cost of incurring it on an odd year, but there is some like overhead there, right? Like clearly it's just mostly overhead costs. Like we could stuff more choices on there. Like we could like run a few more, I don't know. People come here, people ask questions, people care about things. I wonder how many things we could stick in referendum that council decides. If council decides over the course of a year that something is important or ought to be brought to the attention of the entire population. Not that we have that many people voting anyway. What was the total turnout? Like
800.
400 people?
I think it was 800.
800? Okay.
Yeah, 700, something like that.
Yeah. How many people are in our town? 3,000?
Yeah, how many voters do we have?
It was right at 500 and something.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were guard.
I was there.
He was the sentry.
It was actually like a little over 700. We just got the certified results back today.
Okay.
And how many total voters do we have in town? Do we know?
Do we know? 3,600? Wow. Okay.
3,600.
Well, it's not great, but
That's what happens in off-year elections.
About
Yeah, maybe
2,800
that's it.
Home residences, so if you
Yeah.
take that and,
Okay.
yeah, some thoughts. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Question, what about the years where it's 2 uncontested people? Do you still incur the cost? You do?
I'm sorry?
no,
No, right?
no, there's no
No.
cost.
We have that a lot in Indialantic. So, unfortunately.
We used to not get the charge these fees, but the supervisor election started charging these increased fees a couple years ago.
Okay. So we'll sit on it. We'll wait for Julie and Doug.
Remember back in November or January?
Well, it's November now. December.
December or January, sorry.
Sure. You guys have got anything else? No. All right. Matt, you got anything to report?
I would just add that, and I sent it to Molly, on December 4th, my firm has a webinar for ethics training, for the 4-hour ethics training, if any of the council members need that prior to the end of the year. It's a free webinar. That's it.
I did mine at the school board. It's interactive. Anyway, Mike, you got anything?
Yeah, real quick, I have a meeting next week with Scott Lovitz and Kelly, our planner, to discuss following up on this parking study and things and working with all that stuff, and a couple other projects in town with Scott, some stormwater issues, getting the Genesee Watson stuff done, and also looking to get the finalized plans for
The pier?
the pier we'll have, yeah, but we, for the kayak launch, couldn't think.
Okay.
So if we're gonna move forward and put it in Douglas Park, like we talked about, we don't have to wait on any pier funding. And I did have update a form today that I submitted for legislative, and I took care of that this morning.
Yes, I met with her and her assistant today, and he mentioned that.
So
Or legislative aid, I don't know what he was, but anyway.
that's it. And then all of you have some project, somebody, resident sent in about, it's this right here.
Orlando Park overflow swale?
Yeah, he's not proposing a swale, it's like a retention area in Orlando Park. Because of the new construction, it's a tear down where they're building a new house across the street, which will be bigger. Catty corner to actually the entrance. I have Joe getting, locates to see if there's anything we can do along all of Ramona and things. Including down to I have it from Miami to Melbourne Avenue, seeing what is there and what we can. I wouldn't recommend putting a big swale or retention area in the park where the kids play in Orlando Park.
You would not?
No, I would
Okay.
not recommend that. But looking at swales along there and, putting them along from Melbourne Avenue where we can put them, it all depends on conflicts, the distance. We got storm pipes along there, a lot of places we go in, we're having problems now. So,
Anything else?
nope.
I got nothing, Brett.
I guess it's my last time to speak.
No, you'll get a chance next month.
Well, no, it's just ceremonial. I don't actually speak at the meeting.
Well, we'll let you speak.
I'll only get to speak at public comment.
Hit that timer,
And I'll
please.
probably leave. I'm sorry, I'll be one of those people. It's like, oh, my thing's here, okay, I'm out. No, I'm bummed to leave the town. I thoroughly enjoyed my 7.5 years serving in various capacities. Really love this town. Thankfully, I get to drive through it every day, so I'm not going too far away. I guess I'm kind of even more bummed that I didn't get to accomplish more while on council just because of this past year with various personal circumstances. But I will say that I am proud for stepping up along with Lauren Strand, Doug Wright, Mark, and who else was on council at the time?
Julie? No, you replaced
I
Julie.
took Julie's spot.
Stu.
Thank you. So sorry, Stu. Stuart Glass, he's the legend. And we all not only put our names on the line, but we also, shelled out $2,000 each of us of our own money to, constitutionally challenge the Form 6 requirement. And we prevailed so that all, future council men and women do not have to unreasonably disclose a ridiculous amount of their personal finances, which was absolutely just overly burdensome and unconstitutional. So I'm proud of that. And
Don't forget pickleball.
yeah, well, some people may not be so happy about that, but I think it turned out okay. And I trust that Mark, as he has been doing, is going to continue to lead these initiatives on various code updates and revisions. And the boardwalk project that you have in the works, I'm really excited about that. So I am in the area. We'll be living just down the road, work right over the bridge. So if you guys need me for anything, I'm happy to help.
And you started the
I was
annual
saying,
golf cart.
and we still have the the golf cart parade, and thankfully the second year, we changed it to Indialantic and Melbourne Beach, so I can continue to run.
Do we have a date for that?
Yeah, and I was gonna say that's Friday, December 19 is this year's, and I'm gonna get you the flyer, Molly, so you can get that out. So, and I'll post it as well. So thank you for allowing me to serve.
Well, thank you for your service, and I'm sure I will get some free legal advice via text message. John?
Yeah, we can finally talk.
That's right.
I have nothing to report. I just, other than I've been getting a lot of neighbors and other folks as I walk around town, talk to me about the median on 192. So I would like to have a more in-depth conversation in one of the upcoming council meetings about ramifications of doing something different out there. I know we've put some money towards that, what it would look like, as far as how much money we're gonna lose, and then to the end of getting something that's low maintenance out there, like low maintenance. That's all I have.
Cool. Somebody took my gavel.
Oh, the police report.
Yeah, meeting adjourned. Thanks for coming.
Hey, don't all forget tomorrow night at 5:30.
Yep.
And-
Budget.
Yeah.
That should be short, right?
I may be late, though.
5:30.
I'm gonna be here in umpire gear, so
It's just gonna be.
I've just gotta be, well, I'm
Should
gonna
only
tell-
take a
I'll-
couple minutes.
I'll let them know, I may be a few minutes late, but I'll be dressed out.
I've got to take Caroline.
Are you gonna have the pads too?
No, I put those on last minute.
I got to go to Westfield tomorrow with Caroline because she hasn't followed the
And then pay,
It's at
then pay for
1:30, so
probably another $15,000 to $1,000.
Everything's okay.
Yeah. We'll be here about.
Council decided all of it. We went back and they,
You have to leave.
I literally think it's gonna be like, hey, I'll approve the budget. Aye, boom.
I know.
2019. It started in 2007.
5:30.
Right, but I mean,
Listen,